Hey, this is Steve Halleck of TikToking. As always, you can find my stuff at TikToking.com and find me at Steve Halleck on Instagram. I have a really cool independent piece today. This one is from Bart and Tim Gronefeld. It is the 1941 Remontoire piece, and this piece has caused quite a stir because it's basically just super cool and came out at a very kind of nice price point and sort of packs a lot of features that are very rarely found in this range. So I thought I would go through it quickly. The first thing you can notice is the finishing is really spectacular, and it's got a pretty unique look to the movement construction and the case. The case is, of course, kind of a traditional round case in overall shape, but you can see the lugs are definitely non-traditional with these scalloped kind of sides and tops, and the finishing is really nice. The machine work is really nice. It's sort of it's a nice, refreshing take on a round case. Now this is I believe 39 millimeters. It's just shy of 40, and it's actually quite thin as well, so the watch sits really nicely on the wrist, and I'll show you that at the end. But let's go through the rest of the technical features in the meantime. You've got, on this version, this is white gold with a salmon dial that's become kind of their signature combination, and it's got these really nice blued hands and blued numbers on the subdial here. But of course, the first thing you'll really notice is this spinny thing over at 9, and that is the 8-second Remontoire. So what a Remontoire is a constant force mechanism, and I've discussed these at length in the Journe tourbillon videos that I've done, which also have Remontoires, and in all the watches with chain and fusées, which is another type of constant force mechanism, like the Logical 1 and the Cabestan and the Breguet tourbillon and such. But anyway, this one is a Remontoire without a tourbillon, and it's an 8-second Remontoire. So basically what happens is the winding energy is stored in the mainspring like any other watch, but instead of being fed directly into the escapement, it's fed through this 8-second Remontoire, which then releases a constant amount every 8 seconds to the escapement. So you don't, it basically smooths out the change in power delivery from the beginning to the end of the power reserve, because it goes through the Remontoire and then to the escapement here. So you can see it at work on the dial every 8 seconds. It does its little spinny thing, which is just pretty cool. It adds a little life to the dial, and it's a really neat, playful, and also chronometrically important feature. Finish-wise, you can see the dial is very nicely finished, including the polishing on this little sort of step up in the middle, and the black polish on each of these indices and on the top of the Remontoire blades themselves. So really spectacularly done. But of course, the real spectacular part is the movement itself. Now, this is crafted in stainless steel, which is pretty unique as far as movements go. I don't know that anybody else makes steel movements other than the Gronefeld brothers. Generally, movements are made in brass. François Paul Journe, of course, makes them in gold. But stainless steel is traditionally very difficult to work with, so most people don't use it for movement pieces. But you can see these bridges cut out of stainless are really nice. The finishing is spectacular. The black polish on this part here and here, very cool. And the overall kind of architecture and design of the movement is both unique and quite pleasing, I would say. You don't generally find this level of finish and design and something quite this kind of unique and captivating in this price point, which is around the $60,000 range retail price as of this video. So let me show you the watch on the wrist. And you can see that the proportions are very kind of nice and classic while not looking too boring or classic, you know? So there you go. It wears a little bigger certainly than some 38 or 39 millimeter watches. These lugs come out a little, but it's still very classically proportioned on the wrist, quite thin. I would say kind of wears in between a 38 and a 40 millimeter Journe. If you like Journe and the way it feels on the wrist, you would definitely kind of like this piece. So this is really one of the best independent watches that's come out in the last 10 years or so. I think it deserves a serious look by anybody who's into this kind of stuff, and this is really you know, what horological dreams are made of. This is the stuff that really gets me going. So I hope I was able to convey just how kind of cool and unique this is, and you know, you're unlikely to see these. The brothers can't make that many of them, and they don't come around often. So glad I was able to share this with you, and I hope to be back soon with something else cool. Thanks.